Welcome to the Deep Dive Cast. This is where we unpack the world's most impactful business and self-help bestsellers. Get ready to go beyond the pages and transform your life. Let's dive in.
Ever get stuck in that cycle? You set a big goal, lose weight, write a book, learn an instrument, whatever. You start strong, maybe for a few days, few weeks even, but then, poof, back to square one. And we usually blame ourselves, right? Lack of willpower, not enough discipline. But what if that's not really the issue? What if, like James Clear suggests in Atomic Habits, we're just tackling change completely backwards? Today we're diving deep into this, pretty profound idea. To really change what you do, you first got to change who you believe you are. We're talking identity-based habits. So let's unpack why our best plans often just fizzle out. Clear uses this great analogy, like an onion. On the outside layer, you've got outcomes. That's the stuff you get, like losing 20 pounds or getting that novel published. That's where most goals live. Then you peel back a layer and you find processes. This is what you actually do, your workout routine, your writing schedule. Most habit advice kind of stocks here, but the core, the very center, that's identity. It's about what you believe about yourself, your self-image, who you see yourself as deep down. And here's the kicker, the reason things often fail. We try changing from the outside in, aim for the outcome, force the process, but we never really deal with that core identity. And the thing is, your old identity, it works against you. Subtly, maybe, but powerfully. There's this internal pressure to stay consistent with who you think you are. It's exhausting. It feels like a fight.
That's exactly it. It's not really about weak willpower. It's your brain's natural drive for consistency. It wants to align your actions with your self-belief. So if your belief hasn't changed, your brain actually sabotages the new actions. You know Clear's quote, "You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." But there's something even deeper, right? Behind every system of actions, there's a system of beliefs. And what upholds those beliefs? Your identity. It shapes the beliefs that the beliefs allow the systems, and the systems, they drive the outcomes.
Okay, so if going outside in is setting us up for a struggle, how do we flip that? You start with identity. You start with who you want to become. So the focus shifts. It's not just, I want to read a book. It's, I want to become a reader, not run a marathon, but become a runner. The smoking example really drives this home, I think. Someone offers you a cigarette. The person trying to quit says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." See? Still framing themselves as a smoker who's struggling. But the identity-based approach, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker," boom, it's a statement of fact. Done. The behavior just flows from that new identity. It feels natural, not forced.
Exactly. And that's the ultimate intrinsic motivation, isn't it? When the habit is part of who you are. You're not chasing change anymore. You're just being you. And it feels good because it's authentic.
That sounds way more sustainable. So how do we actually build this new identity? It sounds a bit abstract. Clear lays out a pretty simple two-step process. Step 1, decide who you want to be. Forget the specific outcome for a second. Ask yourself, who's the type of person who could get that result? Want to lose 40 pounds? Okay, the identity is maybe I am a healthy and active person. Write it down. An I am statement. That's your compass.
Right. And then step 2, prove it to yourself with small wins. This is where the action comes in. Clear uses this fantastic metaphor. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Your identity isn't set in stone. It actually emerges from what you repeatedly do. Make your bed. That's a vote for being an organized person. Go for a walk. A vote for being active. These small actions are like little pieces of evidence for your brain. The votes add up. And here's the really freeing part. You don't need a landslide victory every single day. You just need a majority. It completely dismantles that all or nothing thinking. Miss one workout. Okay, that's one vote against. But if those days you vote for being active, you're winning. It takes the pressure off, doesn't it?
It really does. That majority wins idea is huge. So, okay, we need to cast votes. How do we make sure we actually, show up and vote consistently? This brings us back to Clear's 4 laws of behavior change. They're basically how you rig the election in your favor. Let's use that I am a reader identity. Maybe the tiny habit, the vote, is reading just 1 page before bed. So, law 1, make it obvious. Put the book right on your pillow. Can't miss it. Law 2, make it attractive. Maybe you temptation bundle. After I brush my teeth, I'll make my favorite tea. Then I'll read my 1 page. Makes it feel like a treat. Law 3, make it easy. The 2-minute rule is perfect here. Just 1 page, that's it. Focus on starting. Often you'll read more, but 1 page is the win. And law 4, make it satisfying. Get that immediate reward. Put an X on a calendar. Use a habit tracker app. That visual proof of your votes feels really good.
Absolutely. And as you're building this, there are a couple of pitfalls to watch out for. One is what Clear calls the curse of identity. Those negative stories we tell ourselves. Oh, I'm just not a morning person. Or I'm terrible with names. Every time you say that, you're casting a vote for an identity you don't want.
Yeah.
So you have to consciously catch and stop those narratives. The other thing is handling slip-ups. You will miss a day. It happens. But the key mantra is never miss twice. One missed day is an anomaly. 2 missed days. That's the start of a new unwanted habit. So the first miss doesn't break you, but letting it slide into a second miss does. Getting back on track immediately is crucial for protecting that emerging identity. And finally, patience. This isn't overnight. It's like a micro-evolution of yourself. Trust that the small votes are accumulating.
Okay, let's bring this home. What does this all mean for you listening right now? Real lasting change apparently starts not with what you want, but with who you decide to be. Your habits. They're just the way you embody that identity day in, day out. Every single action is a vote. Small habits build the proof. So maybe forget the giant goals for just a minute. Ask yourself this instead. Who do you want to become? Decide on that. And then right now, today, figure out one tiny, almost effortless 2-minute action you can take to cast the first vote for that identity. Just one small vote. Because that's how it happens. Bit by bit, vote by vote, you become that person.
Welcome to this deep dive. Now, we've talked quite a bit before about, building good habits, making them obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying, all that good stuff.
Right, the fundamentals.
Exactly. But what happens when you've been doing all that, you're consistent, you're putting in the work, and, well, you still feel kind of stuck?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe even trickier, what if those good habits become so automatic, so routine, they actually start holding you back?
That's a really crucial point, isn't it? It's like we're shifting gears now, moving beyond just starting habits to really mastering them.
Okay.
So today, we're tackling 2 major hurdles you might hit on that path to mastery. First, that frustrating plateau of latent potential.
The dreaded plateau.
Yeah, and second, the sort of dangerous trap of, well, mindless routines. Our mission today is really to help you move from just doing the habit to becoming a true practitioner.
Okay, so let's start with that first one, that frustrating feeling. We've all been there, right? You're hitting the gym, maybe practicing a skill, putting in consistent effort.
Day in, day out.
But the results you can see, they just aren't showing up. You called it the plateau of latent potential, sometimes called the valley of disappointment. What's really going on there?
Well, the core issue is how we expect progress to look. We kind of imagine this straight line always going up.
Linear, yeah.
Exactly. But real meaningful growth, it's almost always delayed. So you're working hard, but it feels like nothing's happening. And that feeling, that's why so many people just, give up.
That delay is so tough. But you have that analogy, the ice cube one, that really clicked for me.
Yeah, the melting ice cube. It's a good one.
Can you walk us through that?
Sure. So imagine an ice cube in a room. You start heating the room, say, from 25 degrees up to 26, 27, 31 degrees.
Okay, still an ice cube.
Right. Nothing looks different. It feels like all that energy, all that heating was pointless. But then you hit 32 degrees.
And bam, it starts melting.
Precisely. And the key insight there is that all the effort, all the heat added from 25 to 31 degrees, it wasn't wasted at all. It was being stored as latent potential.
Stored energy, basically.
Yeah, it's like charging a battery you can't see. It's maddening because there's no immediate feedback, but it's absolutely essential for that breakthrough moment. We struggle because, well, our brains want instant rewards.
Right.
But we live in what they call a delayed return environment now. Big goals take time. Plus, society loves the overnight success story, which ignores all those years of unseen effort.
So it's about reframing, trusting that the work is accumulating even when you can't see it. It's not a valley of disappointment, but more like a canyon of resolve.
I like that. A canyon of resolve. It's a test, yeah. And your work is always being stored, always compounding, even if it's invisible for a while.
Okay, that makes sense. But then there's the other problem, the autopilot track.
Mm-hmm. The paradox of habits.
We work so hard to make habits automatic, right?
Yeah.
To free up brain power. And that is good for consistency.
Absolutely essential, yeah.
But you're saying that same automaticity can actually become the enemy.
Yeah. It can be. When a habit becomes completely mindless, just going through the motions, your progress tends to stall out. You stop paying close attention.
And little mistakes creep in.
Exactly. Little errors, maybe inefficient ways of doing things, they can creep in and get locked in without you even noticing. Yeah. There's that Carl Jung quote, something like, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate."
Wow.
You can't improve something if you're not even aware of it.
Right.
So the antidote here is what's called deliberate practice.
Deliberate practice, not
Yeah.
just repetition.
No, definitely not. It's purposeful. It's systematic. You're practicing with focused attention, specifically trying to get better. It involves breaking the skill down, finding your weak spots, actively trying out new ways to improve them, and then integrating those improvements back into the habit.
Okay, so like contrast a basketball player just shooting hoops mindlessly for an hour versus one who, say, shoots 10 free throws, then pauses, reviews their form, maybe checks some feedback, makes a specific adjustment, and then shoots the next 10.
That's it, exactly. The second player is engaged in deliberate practice. They're not just repeating, they're actively refining.
So the formula is kind of like habits plus deliberate practice equals mastery.
That's a great way to put it. Habits ensure you show up consistently. Deliberate practice ensures you actually improve when you show up. It's this cycle. Make it automatic, then make it conscious again to refine, then maybe let it become automatic at a higher level and repeat.
Okay, so how do we keep this going? Stay engaged without burning out or getting bored.
Well, there are a few key strategies. First, the Goldilocks rule.
Not too hard, not too easy.
Just right. You want to work on challenges that are just slightly beyond your current ability, maybe around 4% harder. That seems to be the sweet spot. It keeps you engaged, helps you enter that flow state where you're fully immersed and motivated.
Makes sense.
What else? Second, the power of reflection and review. You need to step back sometimes and check in. Are your habits still actually serving your goals?
Like the marathoner Eliud Kipchoge taking notes after every single run.
Exactly. Even the best do it. So for you listening, schedule some time periodically. Ask yourself, what went well with my habits recently? What didn't go so well? And, crucially, are these habits still casting votes for the kind of person I want to become?
That's a powerful question. Okay, third strategy.
Dealing with boredom. It's maybe the biggest threat to long-term success, honestly. Not failure, but just getting bored with the routine.
So how do you fight that?
Inject novelty. Small variations. If you walk every day, take a different route sometimes. Listen to a different type of music during your workout. Tiny changes can keep it feeling fresh.
Or even just asking, what would make this fun?
Yes, that question can unlock a lot. It helps you tweak the habit to make it more enjoyable, more sustainable for you personally.
All right, let's recap quickly. The plateau of latent potential is normal. Your work is being stored. Mindless automaticity leads to stagnation. Deliberate practice is the key to improvement. And staying engaged requires managing difficulty, reflecting, and fighting boredom.
That nails it.
So, for everyone listening, here's a little 3-part challenge to put this into action.
Okay.
First, embrace the plateau.
Yeah.
Pick one habit where you feel stuck right now. Consciously reframe it. Tell yourself, okay, I'm in the plateau of latent potential. My effort is like the energy heating that ice cube. It is counting. Trust that process.
Good first step.
Second, add a little twist. Choose one habit that feels a bit stale. This week, just introduce one small, simple variation, different street on your walk, like you said, or maybe try one new recipe if you cook regularly. Anything small.
Keep it fresh.
And third, schedule your first habit review. Seriously, pull out your calendar right now. Block off just 15 minutes, maybe a month from today. And in that review, ask yourself those 3 key questions we mentioned.
Right.
What's working? What's not? And are my habits still aligned with who I want to be?
Excellent. Actionable steps.
Yeah. Because by embracing that plateau, adding a bit of novelty, and consciously reviewing things, you really do move beyond just doing your habits to truly mastering them. That's how you make sure all that effort keeps compounding in your favor. Welcome back to our deep dive. We've spent quite a bit of time looking at building good habits, right? Making them obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. We've really laid some groundwork there.
We have. It's all about designing your life to support those positive changes you want to make.
But, there's the other side of it. What about those habits we already have that we want to get rid of? The endless scrolling, maybe snacking late at night, procrastination hitting hard.
Exactly. It's not enough just to build the new. Sometimes you have to actively take apart the old.
So that's what we're tackling today, right?
Yeah.
Dismantling those bad habits.
That's the plan. We're diving into James Clear's idea. He calls it the golden rule of habit change. It's a really neat way to think about breaking those patterns that feel so stuck.
The golden rule.
Okay.
So if building good habits is about obvious, attractive, easy, satisfying.
Yeah.
How do we flip that for bad habits?
Well, you said it right there. You flipped it. You invert those 4 laws. To break a bad habit, you need to make it invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying.
Ah, okay. The direct opposites. That makes sense.
It's the roadmap. It shows it's less about pure willpower, which, let's be honest, often fails us, and more about having the right system, or in this case, dismantling the wrong one.
Right. So let's walk through them. First up, make it invisible. This sounds like it's about the cue, the trigger.
Precisely. If you never get the cue, the habit often doesn't even start. It's about changing your environment so the temptation isn't staring you in the face.
So it's not about resisting the urge. It's about avoiding the urge altogether.
That's a huge part of it. Self-control is often just good environmental design. Why fight temptation constantly if you can just remove it? Willpower gets tired.
Okay, give me an example, like phone scrolling.
Perfect example. The phone itself is the cue. So maybe you leave it in another room when you need to focus. Or delete that app that sucks you in, turn off notifications, make the cue invisible.
Or for junk food, just don't buy it. If it's not in the house, it's invisible.
Exactly. Out of sight, out of mind, literally. Okay, next up, make it unattractive. This one tackles the craving.
How do you make something you crave unattractive? That seems tricky.
It's about reframing. You shift your mindset. Instead of focusing on what you think you're giving up, you focus on the immediate downsides or the benefits of not doing the habit.
So not, I can't smoke, but maybe I'm choosing clean lungs or I'm becoming a non-smoker.
Yes. You link it to your identity. Who do you want to be? A healthy person probably wouldn't do X. That makes the bad habit clash with your desired self-image, making it less appealing, less attractive.
I see. Connecting it to values and identity. Okay, what's third?
Make it difficult. We humans love the easy route, right? So we use that. We add friction to the bad habit.
Add friction, like obstacles.
Yeah, exactly. Make it a hassle. If you watch too much TV, maybe unplug it after each use. Or take the remote batteries out and keep them somewhere else.
Oh, that little bit of effort could be enough to make you stop and think, do I really want to do this?
That's the idea. For online shopping, maybe delete your saved card details. Anything that adds a step, creates a pause, breaks the automatic flow.
Okay, that makes sense. Adds a moment for conscious choice. And the last one.
Make it unsatisfying. This is crucial. Bad habits often give immediate pleasure, but the pain comes later. We need to reverse that. Attach an immediate negative consequence.
Immediate.
Yeah.
How do you engineer that?
An accountability partner is a classic. If you have to tell someone you respect that you slipped up, that's usually pretty unsatisfying, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Public commitment almost.
Or a habit contract. Maybe you put money on the line. If you do the bad habit, you pay a penalty, donate to a cause you dislike, perhaps. Make the cost immediate and, well, a bit painful.
So just to recap the whole thing, the golden rule means for bad habits, you make them invisible, unattractive, difficult, and unsatisfying.
That's the system. It's strategic design, not just hoping for motivation to strike.
Right. It's about making the bad path harder and the good path easier.
Exactly. So for everyone listening, here's the takeaway. Don't feel like you have to overhaul everything overnight. Just pick one bad habit.
Just one to start.
Yep.
And then apply just one of these inverted laws. Maybe hide the cookies, make it invisible. Or unplug the Wi-Fi when you need to work, make it difficult.
Or even just writing down how lousy you feel right after you do it, make it unattractive or unsatisfying. Small steps.
Small strategic steps. And we've put together a little bad habit breakdown worksheet to help with this. You can find the link in the show notes.
Great. So one habit, one law. And you mentioned something about a more advanced strategy, commitment devices.
Ah, yes. This is where you make a choice now that locks in your future behavior. It basically removes the temptation or the option entirely.
Like using a website blocker so you literally can't access distracting sites. Or hiring a trainer you have to show up for.
Precisely. It seems counterintuitive, maybe. Like you're restricting your freedom.
The paradox of freedom, you called it.
Right. By strategically giving up a small freedom, now the freedom to mindlessly scroll or skip a workout, you actually gain a much bigger, more meaningful freedom later. The freedom that comes from focus. From achieving what you set out to do. Being smarter than your future self's impulses.
You got it.
Fine.
Sometimes locking yourself into the path you want is the smartest way to stay on it.
But that's a powerful thought to end on. We really hope this helps you start dismantling some of those habits holding you back.
Absolutely.
And join us next time. We're going to zoom out a bit and explore the power of systems, why focusing on your systems rather than just your goals is often the key to real, lasting progress.
It's going to be a good one. See you then. So, picture the scenario, right? You've trained for months, say, for a half marathon.
Well, those early mornings, the sore muscle.
Well, exactly. Cross the finish line, it feels amazing, pure triumph. But then, what happens Monday?
Right. That intense motivation, it just kind of evaporates.
And you're left wondering, okay, what pushes me forward now? James Clear calls this the yo-yo effect. We're always told, be goal-oriented, aim for that championship, that big win.
It's deeply ingrained.
But if goals are the be-all and end-all, why does hitting them often feel, well, temporary, almost anticlimactic sometimes?
Yeah, like you're right back where you started, just maybe a bit tired.
So in this deep dive, we're going to dig into Clear's really key insight from Atomic Habits. He says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems.
That's the crux of it. That quote really changes things.
It suggests the secret to lasting progress isn't the goal itself, but something else entirely.
Exactly. And what's kind of wild is how the very idea of a goal as just a finish line, well, it creates this psychological weight.
How so?
It sort of frames the whole effort as temporary pain for a fleeting reward way off in the future.
Putting off happiness until you hit the target.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that structure, it's just inherently fragile. It's built to end, not to keep going. So the problem isn't usually a lack of discipline after the goal. It's the framework itself. It wasn't designed for endurance.
Okay. So if the goal-first approach has these built-in issues, what are some of the specific traps Clear points out?
Well, the first one is a bit of a cognitive illusion, really.
Okay.
We see successful people and we think, wow, they must have had really ambitious goals. But think about it. Every single Olympian wants the gold medal.
Right. Nobody aims for fourth place.
Every job candidate wants the position. So if the winners and the losers share the exact same goals,
then the goal itself can't be the thing that separates them.
right. The real difference is the system, the daily grind, those tiny continuous improvements the winners actually stuck with. That's the differentiator.
That makes sense. And that feeds right into the second trap, doesn't it? Achieving a goal is just momentary.
Totally. Think about like cleaning a super messy room.
Okay, done it many times.
You can get it spotless, right?
Yeah.
Goal achieved. But if you don't change the habits that made it messy,
It's going to be messy again pretty soon.
bingo. Clear says you basically treated a symptom without addressing the cause. Lasting change means fixing the system. You fix the inputs and the outputs take care of themselves.
Right, focus on the sloppy habits, not just the one-time clean.
Which leads us to trap number 3, and this one's about happiness.
The I'll be happy when trap.
You got it, that implicit idea. Once I reach my goal, then I'll finally be happy. It forces you into this constant state of delayed gratification, an either-or situation.
Either I'm striving and unhappy, or I've arrived, and maybe I'm happy for a bit.
Exactly. But with a systems-first mindset, you flip that. You learn to love the process itself. Satisfaction comes anytime your system is running, not just at the finish line.
So you find joy in the doing, not just the destination.
You can be satisfied today.
And the fourth trap. This one feels linked to that marathon runner again.
It is. Goals can actually be at odds with long-term progress.
How?
Think about that runner after the race. If the goal was the only thing driving them, what happens once it's achieved?
The motivation's gone, training stops, the yo-yo effect ticks in.
Right. Clear draws this brilliant distinction. The purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game.
Okay. Goals are finite, systems are continuous.
Exactly. Real long-term thinking is almost goalless. It's about endless refinement, just getting better day by day.
So summing up these traps, a goal focus is fragile. It breaks if you fail, it disappears if you succeed.
Whereas the system is kind of anti-fragile. If you miss a day, that's not failure, it's just data. Feedback to tweak the system. Yeah. Success just reinforces the system. It builds resilience over time.
Okay, this is compelling. So how do we move from theory to practice? How do we actually design our own system?
Right, the exciting part. A system isn't some vague concept. It's the concrete, daily stuff you actually do.
The actions.
The actions, the processes, and the backbone of any good system. Routine.
Routine gets a bad rap sometimes. Sounds boring.
It can, but disciplined people aren't necessarily superheroes with more willpower. They often just structure their lives better to avoid needing constant self-control. Routines automate decisions.
Like a writer aiming for a book.
Yeah, the goal is the book. The system is maybe writing 500 words every morning before checking email. That's the routine.
Gotcha.
Adam Westbrook, a creative guy, has this great simple system. Every morning at 7 a.m., I sit down and draw for a minimum of 1 hour. He even chains habits together.
Oh, like habit stacking.
Exactly. He says, as long as I wake up, I meditate. As long as I meditate, I draw. If I draw, I practice French. One triggers the next.
That automates the whole sequence. Okay, so it's about building these reliable processes.
And crucially, shifting your mindset, falling in love with the process, not just chasing the product.
This sounds like identity-based habits.
It's totally connected. The goal isn't just running a marathon. It's becoming a runner.
A runner runs. That's their identity, reinforced by the system.
Right. A runner feels good when their system, the training schedule, is active. James Clear even talks about stopping a workout because of a small twinge.
Which sounds like failure if you're goal-focused.
But his system was about not missing workouts for life. So protecting himself was sticking to the system. He knew the process works long-term. Process always wins.
And the system saves your willpower for other things because the basics are automated.
Exactly. It's mental bandwidth conservation.
But systems aren't just set and forget, right? Can't you just coast once it's automatic?
That's a real danger. Complacency. Clear emphasizes that the secret to lasting results is to never stop making improvements.
Always refining.
Yep.
So how do you monitor it?
You need feedback loops. 2 levels, basically. Microfeedback.
Like what?
Like a habit tracker. It
Yeah.
gives you that immediate visual proof. Yes, I did the thing. It makes the progress tangible.
Satisfying little check marks.
Totally. Then there's macro feedback. This is scheduled reflection, maybe, say, 15 minutes every week.
What do you do in that time?
You ask yourself, are my systems still working for me? Are they aligned with who I want to be? And critically, how can I get just 1% better this week?
That 1% compounds.
Massively.
Yeah.
It turns personal growth into like your own personal science experiment. Constant small tweaks, continuous improvement, habits plus this deliberate practice equals mastery.
It's interesting you talk about these, potentially rigid systems, routines, but then there's this connection to flow.
Yeah, that state of being totally absorbed in the zone. Performance and happiness just merge.
It feels spontaneous, effortless. How do systems lead to that?
Well, think about Clear's Goldilocks rule.
Mm.
Peak motivation, peak flow happens when a task is right on the edge of your current abilities.
Not too hard, not too easy.
It's just right. A good system automates the fundamentals, the parts that have become too easy.
Ah, so it clears the decks.
Precisely. It's cognitive offloading. Your system handles the routine stuff, freeing up your limited mental energy.
So you can focus that energy on the challenging part, the just right part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can engage in that deliberate practice needed to push your edge, which is where flow happens.
Mm-hmm.
The system handles the basics so you can tackle the interesting stuff.
Okay, so bringing this all together for everyone listening, we've gone from seeing the cracks in a goals-only approach to thinking like an architect of our own progress.
Mm-hmm. Success isn't that finish line. It's the system you build and refine every day.
So to make this real, here are a couple of quick actionable things you can do, like today.
Let's hear them.
First, review your daily system. Tonight, seriously, take just 5 minutes. Look at one routine, maybe your morning coffee ritual, how you start work, how you wind down.
Just observe.
Just observe. Ask, what's the actual system here? And what's one tiny tweak I could make to reduce friction? Or just make the good habit more obvious.
Like laying out workout clothes the night before.
Or, perfect example, or moving your phone charger out of the bedroom. Small things.
Got it. Actionable. What's number 2?
Second, set a system review date. Pull out your phone or calendar right now, find 15 minutes, and make it recurring.
Like an appointment with yourself.
Exactly. Call it my weekly system review, or whatever works. Maybe Sunday evening, maybe Friday afternoon. Make it non-negotiable.
And use that time to ask those questions. What's working? What's not? How can I improve 1%?
That's the habit of refinement. Remember, it's not about some huge, intimidating overhaul. You just need a better system. It really echoes Clear's final thought. The secret to getting results that last is to never stop making improvements. It's remarkable what you can build if you just don't stop.
And maybe a final thought to chew on.
Mm-hmm.
Consider how shifting to a system-first mindset really changes your relationship with time.
How so?
Instead of seeing time as this thing you have to endure to get to some future happiness,
Yeah.
you start seeing it as your ally. Every single day your system runs. Time is compounding your efforts, making you better. It reframes your entire experience of daily life.
That's powerful. From an obstacle to an ally. Okay, great final thought. And just a reminder, we've put together a quick reference guide on goals versus systems in the deep dive show notes if you want to explore this more. Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're hitting that big question from the source material. Motivation fades, right? How do you make good changes actually last a lifetime?
Yeah, it's all about the long game.
Exactly. Like James Clear says, goals are for winning the game, systems are for continuing to play.
And that's our mission today, really, to nail down the mindset for, continuous success. We're looking at 3 core things.
Okay.
First, really getting the compounding effect, how tiny daily actions become massive results.
Right.
Second, building resilience, overcoming that impatience, the inevitable setbacks.
Super important.
And finally, committing to patience and lifelong self-awareness. It's a package deal.
Okay, let's dive into that first one, the compounding effect. Because the math, the whole 1% better each day idea, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It really is.
Improve 1% daily for a year, you're, 37 times better? But get 1% worse.
Yeah, you basically decline towards 0. It really shows how much that daily trajectory matters, more than where you are right now. And Clear talks about it like the compound interest of self-improvement.
Ah, okay. Like money.
Exactly. Small deposits, tiny habits, reading 1 page, 5 push-ups, whatever.
Okay.
Seems like nothing at first.
Right.
But you do it consistently over time. That's where the exponential growth happens.
It reminds me of that plane analogy. LA to NYC. If the plane is just like 1% off course leaving LA.
It lands way off, right?
Yeah.
Delaware or something.
Hundreds of miles away, shows how those small daily habits really steer your whole life's destination.
And, that delay in seeing results, that's what Clear calls the plateau of latent potential.
Okay, explain that a bit.
Think of an ice cube. It's in a room at, say, 26 degrees Fahrenheit. You start warming the room 27, 28, 29.
Nothing's happening to the ice.
Right. Nothing looks like it's happening.
Yeah.
But the work is being done, the energy is accumulating invisibly, then bam, 32 degrees.
It melts.
Yeah.
Breakthrough.
Exactly. So that frustration you feel when you're putting in the effort but not seeing results, that's usually a sign you're just warming the room. You're on the plateau. The efforts are counting.
That's huge. Because that plateau is where people often give up, isn't it? Which leads us straight into patience. And, that old 21-day habit myth.
Oh, yeah. That comes up all the time.
It's just not quite right, is it?
Not really. Real research, like Philippa Lally's work, shows the average is actually closer to 66 days.
Wow, average.
Yeah, and the range was huge. 18 days for some people, up to 254 for others. So if it feels like a struggle, if it takes you longer, that's normal. You just need to reset expectations.
Okay, so if it can take that long, how do you stay motivated? I like Clear's idea of the patience paradox.
Yeah.
Explain that. It's like you need both impatience, that urge to act today, to show up, and patience, trusting the process, delaying that gratification.
Right. It's not passive waiting. True patience is active. It's trusting the system while you're in the system doing the work.
Okay, but what about when you mess up? Because everyone does.
Absolutely. Setbacks are guaranteed. The real danger isn't the first mistake. It's the second one, the spiral of repeated mistakes, as Clara calls it.
Which brings us to that brilliant rule, never miss twice.
Such a simple, powerful idea.
Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. So, okay, you skipped your workout today. It happens.
Accident. Forgive yourself.
But tomorrow, you absolutely do not miss again. Or you ate the cake? Fine, that was the miss. The very next meal, you're back on track.
Exactly. Psychologically, it's genius. It gives you grace. The unavoidable slip-up stops the guilt, but it forces immediate recommitment.
Yeah.
Top performers aren't perfect. They just recover faster. One missed day is statistically irrelevant if you get right back to it.
Okay, so you've built the habits. You're using never miss twice. You're kind of on autopilot. Done.
Not quite. The beauty is habits automate the basics, which frees up your mental energy for, new challenges, bigger goals.
So they create freedom, not restriction.
Precisely. But that freedom requires ongoing maintenance. You need self-awareness.
How so?
Well, self-awareness is key for tweaking things, for noticing maybe a bad habit creeping back, or even refining a good habit that could be better. Tracking, reflection, they help.
And asking that crucial question, right? Are my habits still serving the person I want to become?
Yes, because you evolve. Your goals change, your identity shifts, your systems need to evolve too. Otherwise, they just become mindless routines that might not even be helpful anymore.
Okay, so wrapping this deep dive up, it feels like lasting change really boils down to a few core things. That quiet compounding of small daily actions, resilience getting back up quickly, and patience trusting that long, slow walk.
Well put.
So, for everyone listening, here are 3 things you can try, pulled straight from this.
Try the never miss twice rule. Pick one habit. For the next 30 days, commit. Miss once,
Okay,
never twice.
good one. Simple, actionable.
Second, celebrate the small wins. Seriously, put a check mark somewhere visible, or just acknowledge it internally. That was a vote for who I want to be. Make consistency feel good.
Reinforce the behavior. Makes sense.
And third, visualize the long game. Pick one key habit. Really picture its compounded result 5 years out. Your health, your skills, your relationships, what does that look like?
Yeah, and remember, that future isn't just wishful thinking. It's basically the mathematical outcome of what you're doing now. Let that fuel you when things feel slow.
Absolutely. Because the goal here was never just to understand habits, it was to give you a framework to actually build a better life. The game is yours. Go play it.
That's all for this episode of the Deep Dive Cast. Thanks for joining us. We hope you gained some valuable insights. Be sure to tune in next time for another deep dive into the world's best ideas. Until then, keep learning and growing.